Bro, the biggest shift in my life didn't come from waking up at 5 a.m., grinding harder, or some crazy morning routine. It came from one mindset switch. And the second you hear it, you'll realize why everything that you've been trying hasn't been working. See, I used to think that life was about getting to a result as fast as possible. I thought I had to flip my life overnight, lose all this weight in 30 days, build a business in a month, wake up at 4 a.m. and suddenly become a different person. And every time I failed, and trust me, I failed a lot, I'd sit there feeling like maybe I wasn't built for this. Maybe I didn't have what it took. But here's the mindset that changed my life immediately. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to get 2% better every single day. That's it, 2%. I call this the 2% way. Now, at first, that sounds small. I know it sounds too simple, but I promise you, this shift will change your whole life the moment that you commit to it. But let me take you back. I remember being at one of my lowest points, right? Once upon a time, I was 240 pounds. I was stressed out, frustrated. I tried everything I saw online. Strict diets, 5 a.m. wake ups, crazy ass workout plans. I'll be fired up for like 3 days, maybe just like a week, and then I crash and then I start spiraling again, right? I'd binge, I'd oversleep, I miss a workout, and then I continue to spiral. And in these moments, I wasn't just quitting on the habit, I was quitting on myself. I started to believe that maybe I wasn't disciplined enough. Maybe I wasn't built like those other people I saw online. But what I didn't realize back then was I wasn't failing because I was weak. I was failing because I was expecting perfection instead of chasing progress. But here's when it clicked. I asked myself, what if instead of trying to change my whole life overnight, I just focused on being 2% better today than I was yesterday? See, that one thought, bro, it unlocked everything, because 2% is doable, right? Usually people say 1% better every day, but I feel like 2% is something that you could win every day and feel like you actually achieved something, right? It's not overwhelming. It doesn't require you to flip your whole life upside down. It's just, can I do a little bit better today than I did yesterday? Can I put in more effort today than yesterday? And when you start living like that, those 2% wins, they start to compound. It's just like money, y'all. Like, you invest a little every day, then it grows. Your habits are the same. Your confidence is the same. Your discipline is the same. That's how you transform your life. Not in one massive leap, but in small, consistent steps that add up to something unrecognizable. This is why 2% beats perfection. Let me break this down. When you chase perfection, you're set up to fail, because nobody can be perfect every day. It's impossible. You miss a workout, you feel like you failed. And you slip on your diet, you feel like you failed again. You don't check off a whole to-do list, you feel like you failed. And when you stack those feelings of failure, you'll eventually just give up completely. Trust me, I know, because I've been there. But when you chase 2% better, you win every day. You're not asking yourself to be flawless. You're asking yourself to move the needle just a little. And that right there, that's powerful, because it builds momentum. Think of it like pushing a heavy car, right? At first, it's gonna barely move. But once you get that John rolling, it gets easier and easier to push. That's what the 2% mindset does. It gets your life rolling until that momentum just automatically takes over. Let me show you how this played out in my life. So back when I was 240 pounds, like I said, I thought I had to do everything perfectly. That's why I stayed stuck though. But when I embraced the 2% mindset, the 2% way, I said, okay, instead of cutting out every bad food, let me just swap soda for water. That was my 2% for that day. The next day, I added a walk. That was another 2%. And then I started showing up at the gym, not going crazy on workouts, but I'm just showing up. Even if I showed up to the gym for 5 minutes that day, I knew I won because I'm going to come back the next day. And then day by day, those 2% went stacked. Fast forward, I lost over 50 pounds. And now I'm training for a marathon. And not just any marathon, it's 26.2 miles up this mountain in LA in a few weeks, right? And you think that happened because I was perfect? Hell no, bro. It happened because I was consistent, because I stacked 2% improvements until I became someone I never thought I could even be. This is how you apply the 2% way. So, question is, how do you live this out? Just pick one habit, just one. Read 10 pages a day, journal for 5 minutes, do a quick workout, pray, meditate, but do it daily. Don't worry about being perfect. Worry about being consistent. Then once that feels automatic, stack another one. That's how discipline is built. Slowly, consistently, and with momentum. It's not gonna happen overnight. And when you slip up, and trust me, you gonna slip up, bro. Don't quit. Just reset. Because one bad day doesn't erase 30 good ones. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and those people who transform. So what happens when you live this way? Here's the real secret. When you start chasing 2%, you're not just building habits, you're building trust with yourself. And once you trust yourself, your confidence just shoots through the roof because you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop doubting if you're capable. And then you start living with a quiet confidence that says, whatever I commit to, I follow through. Bro, that confidence, that doesn't just change your health. It changes your career, your relationships, your peace of mind. Because when you know you can rely on yourself, you become unstoppable. Here's why most people don't get here. See, most people, they never make this shift because they're addicted to instant results. They want to skip the grind and go straight to the glow up, right? They want to look good tomorrow, but they don't want to put in the small, boring reps today. But life doesn't work like that. The glow up comes from the grind, from the 2% wins that nobody sees, from doing the work in silence so the results speak loud in public. And this is why I built Unstoppable Nation, because doing this alone is tough. The world is loud, distractions are almost everywhere, and when nobody's watching, it's easy to slip. So inside our community, we run the Monk Mode Challenge, which is a 30-day system built around 7 core execution habits: moving your body, eating clean, journaling, reading, praying, meditating, and cutting distractions and locking in on the deep work. But here's the key. You don't need to do all 7 at once. Start with 2, 3, maybe even 1. Just build consistency, build that momentum, and that's how you transform. And when you've got a whole community tracking your progress, holding you accountable, and leveling up with you, that's how it gets easier. So let me leave you with this, bro. A year from now, you're gonna meet a version of yourself. Who do you want that person to be? If you keep chasing perfection, you'll be stuck, frustrated, doubting yourself, quitting and restarting over and over. But if you lock in on the 2% way, that version of you that is unrecognizable, stronger, sharper, more disciplined, more unstoppable, the mindset that changed my life immediately can change yours too. Stop chasing perfect. Start stacking 2%. And if you're ready to put this into action, just click the link below, join Unstoppable Nation, and start your own Monk Mode Challenge today. Today, your 2% starts.